Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. People, I'm excited to share the news tonight. I mean, there is just a cadre of wins, and Liz Cheney is in a complete panic. And I'm not kidding. She's actually threatening. It's pretty wild news. I'll get right into that. Want to thank you for joining me, though, and ask you to support. Oh, and please smash that like and do chat in with where you're from. Really does help to get the stream out to more folks. Thank you so much for supporting Mike. We had him on the show last week, and you guys got some of the great products. There are still those phenomenal cyber deals going on MyPillow. $7.50 for the multi-use MyPillow 2.0. This is the MyPillow 2.0, by the way. It's got this different fabric. It's a cooling fabric technology. And so if you can, I don't know if that really shows up well. Anyways, you'll like it. I've got one. That's what I actually sleep on, is the MyPillow 2.0 right now. Anyways, free orders on shipping over $75. Down comforters. I love the down comforter. I love the towels. I love the sheets. You guys know. Anyways, let's move on. Let's get into the news because it's pretty exciting. Okay. So Liz Cheney is actually threatening. This is unreal. She is threatening attorneys. Watch this. So Liz Cheney warns that any lawyer who investigates members of the January 6th committee will be engaging in conduct subject to sanctions. So she's saying that the lawyers could be sanctioned. This is their same playbook that they're always using, right? If you contest elections, we'll sanction you. Remember what happened to the people down in Arizona who were willing to contest elections and what took place there? So that's going on. But Mike Davis, by the way, folks, I'm just going to spill the beans. I've reached out to Mike Davis. He's going to be on the show here. We're messaging back and forth. If you don't know Mike Davis, he's the one who said that he would put Tish James Sari Keister in prison. I'll just say it nice. So he's Article 3 project, a lawyer for Trump. Mike Davis has a lot to say on these issues, and now he's going to sue somebody else's arse into the ground. That's right, Liz Cheney, folks. So this is really exciting. I want to remind you here of a couple of Liz Cheney's transgressions, since she's out there saying that lawyers can be sanctioned for simply bringing this stuff up, which is wild. I mean, she still thinks she's living under the Joe Biden regime and she's part of the Stasi. This gal is just a kook. Anyways, I want to remind you that she hid the evidence that Trump called for the National Guard troops, for 10,000 National Guard troops to be there. I'm also going to remind you about Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony. Let me go back to an article here from, what was this out of? This was Newsweek. Liz Cheney accused of committing ethical violation over January 6th witness. This was originally published on October 16th of 2024. New texts have emerged of alleged secret communication between Liz Cheney, former January 6th committee vice chair, and a key witness. Here, I'll bring the article right in for you folks so you can kind of follow along now, because I got those pictures still to show you. Republican National Committee Chairman Harmeet Dillon wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "This is a very serious ethical violation, and lawyers can be disciplined by the bar for contacting a represented party concerning the subject matter of the representation without the permission and knowledge of that party's lawyer." So what happened was, so they were looking for this bombshell, Cassidy Hutchinson. She's like, "Oh, Trump was trying to take the wheel of the beast." You could just, this stuff is so stupid. But now she actually committed an offense, okay, that was against the law. And now she's saying that anybody who goes after me for, about my offense that I committed against the law, we're going to sanction their attorneys. That's just, oh my gosh. This is just so nuts. It's so nuts. By the way, folks, so if you remember, I was constantly exposing Joni Ernst on X, and also here I brought in multiple videos of her showing you what a rhino she was and how she was going against the Pete Hegseth nomination. Kind of another big breaking story out of today. I'm going to let Pete Hegseth was on Sean Hannity. I know they're friends. I'm not a big Sean Hannity fan, but I know, Dan Bongino speaks highly of him and so on, so I don't want to throw too much shade his way. Let's just listen to this because you just need to understand that we won. The pressure campaign that you mounted, that others mounted, we won. And I do want to give this with a word of warning. The way the Senate works, just so you guys understand this, and I'm sure many in my audience do, but let's say John Thune doesn't want Pete Hegseth to be there. And John Thune wants to make it look like he's supporting Trump's nominations. And they realize that Joni Ernst will get primaried in Iowa if she goes down this path. They have other sacrificial lambs, okay? People in their back pocket that they can trot out a vote against Pete Hegseth for. So the battle is not over, but this is big news. So watch this.
Now, last month, our friend, former Fox colleague Pete Hegseth was chosen by President-elect Donald Trump to be his defense secretary. Now, since President Trump's announcement, Pete has faced, well, the predictable slew of allegations about pretty much everything, a personal relationship in which he was fully investigated, exonerated, and his time in the military. Oh, and he might have had a drink or two too much on occasion. Pete has been on Capitol Hill meeting with lawmakers, discussing his upcoming confirmation hearings. Today, Pete had his second meeting with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. After the meeting, Senator Ernst said she looks forward to supporting Pete through this process. Pete Hegseth joins us now with more. Sir, welcome back. Great to have you.
Hey, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the meeting with Joni Ernst today.
Absolutely. Sean, it was a great meeting. People don't really know this. I've known Senator Ernst for over 10 years. I knew her when she was a state senator running to be the first female combat veteran, and we supported her in that effort and have continued to, because you get into these meetings and you get to listen to senators as an amazing advise and consent process, and you hear how thoughtful, serious, and substantive they are on these key issues as they pertain to our Defense Department. And Joni Ernst is front and center on that. So able to have phone calls and meetings time and time again to talk over the issues is really, really important. And the fact that she's willing to support me through this process means a lot. And I also want an opportunity here to clarify comments that have been misconstrued that I somehow don't support women in the military. Some of our greatest warriors, our best warriors out there are women who serve, raise their right hand to defend this country and love our nation, want to defend that flag, and they do it every single day around the globe. So I'm not presuming anything, but after President Trump asked me to be his Secretary of Defense, should I get the opportunity to do that, I look forward to being a secretary for all our warriors, men and women, for the amazing contributions they make in our military.
That's a big deal, folks. So Ernst caved, and I want to note. So this is, out of the Federalist. I support Pete. Ernst changes tune following second Hegseth meeting. She was already starting to change her tune from before because she was getting outed. And I think one of the great things about citizen journalism and people digging this stuff up is there are things the mainstream media doesn't want to cover because they're in bed with many of these politicians. And all of a sudden we go dig up all these old clips and start showing them to everybody. It changes everything, because now Ernst not only has to, she could have just supported Pete right away, but now she's dealing with an entire treasure trove of information that's been coming out on her, and she may still be facing a primary challenge. So she should have just jumped on board the Pete train a little earlier, which was also the Trump train. Now, some other big news out there, and I'm going to put this back in. Want to talk briefly about this. If you guys didn't know, Penny out in New York, the subway trial that was going on, the subway quote unquote murder trial. I'm just trying to figure out the right way to say this, but Matt Walsh said this, and this happened earlier today. I mean, you could actually hear it. There's a crazed mob outside the courthouse threatening violence against the jury if they don't convict. This is the same thing that happened with the George Floyd case. And we didn't get the same results there. The jury can hear them in the deliberation room loud and clear. This, along with the fact that they've already said they can't reach a verdict on the top charge, and yet the judge still won't declare a mistrial. Anyone who defends this is fundamentally anti-American. This trial is a disgrace. And by the way, the judge had to change this. This is kind of interesting about New York. Think about Donald Trump and how they had to change the statute of limitations and then try to get this E. Jean Carroll thing, how they changed the law to go after him on these business things, that there was no crime ever committed because there was no victim. So New York seems to have a pattern here lately of doing things this terribly wrong. Well, additionally, the judge in that case, after the first, and I've got I don't know, the jury instructions, the paper around here, but if they could not find him guilty on count one, which the jury was unable to do, they were to basically dismiss charge two, which is the one the judge said, as the attorneys talked, and the defense attorney for Penny said, "Hey, this isn't right," and the judge said, "Well, let's just see how it plays out." But now we've got a crazed mob out there calling for this. And I want to see who's actually breaking the law. So here's New York Penal Law 240.8. A person is guilty of inciting to riot when he urges 10 or more persons to engage in tumultuous and violent conduct of a kind likely to create public alarm. Inciting a riot is a Class A misdemeanor. So they're actually committing the crimes. And then they're saying that, that the Penny was a murderer, and what he was doing was acting in self-defense. And I think it even gets a little more absurd. And I'm gonna share another clip with you. And they're going to compare. This is CNN, but they are going to compare the Penny killing to the killing of the United Healthcare CEO. Watch this.
Later in the night, we're also going to talk about Penny and the verdict there. Mm-hmm. There you also have a victim who somebody determined did not deserve to continue living, right?
No.
Yeah, tell me which vigilante action is okay.
Is that weird?
One is being proactive, right? So this kid who executed a guy walking away from him, shot him in the back, for no reason whatsoever. Daniel Penny is a hero. You can say anything you want. Talk to people who ride the subway every day. Because I do all the time. So I can't find anyone who rides the subway who's unhappy about this verdict.
Well,
is right. I mean, come on. Obviously, the guy was threatening harm. Penny stepped in, and it's absurd. Anyhow, moving along. I've got a great clip on Garland, but I want to talk about something else, folks. We actually had another big win today, and that is we won another House seat. And it kind of came through a weird set of circumstances. So I'm just going to bring, this in. So this is actually right here. A statement by Susan Valdez. She's out of Florida. And she just switched parties from Democrat to Republican. So while they're still counting votes out in California, trying to connive seats out there, okay, and they were doing all that, they're losing seats elsewhere simply by people leaving the party. So Susan Valdez said this: "I've spent my adult life fighting to give a voice to the people of my West Tampa home. I have done so as a Democrat, partly out of habit. I came from a family of Democrats, and partly because I believe that Democrats were the party most concerned with the working families I represent. In the House, I have long known that no one has a monopoly on good ideas. I will not waste my final 2 years in the Florida legislature being ignored in a caucus whose leadership expects me to ignore the needs of my community." Is that not wild, folks? She is leaving the Democrat Party, becoming a Republican. Again, this is Susan Valdez out of Florida. Do me a favor, please smash that like. Let's get this stream out to a few more people. Chat in with where you're from, all those new to the stream. But she said, "Effective immediately, I will change my registration from a Democrat to Republican and will join the Republican conference in the Florida House of Representatives. Our Speaker, Representative Daniel Perez, has laid out a vision for the House that focuses on empowering House members to work on real problems facing our community. That's what I want to be a part of. I want to roll up my sleeves and work. I want to be part of solving problems for West Tampa. I'm tired of being the party of protesting when I got into politics to be a party of progress. I know that I won't agree with my fellow Republican House members on every issue, but I know that in their caucus, I will be welcomed and treated with respect." So this is what's going on. So this is actually, this is in the Florida State House, but she is retiring out. And I wonder if she isn't doing this to then run for a seat in the U.S. House. So that I think we're going to see something come out of that down the road. Now, you saw the one video on Penny. Now watch this, and I want you to just Let me ask this question. I don't know if I need to get background on this or not. Do any of you know who Taylor Lorenz is? Taylor Lorenz. Just yes or no in the comments. Do you know who Taylor Lorenz is? Or do I have to give some context to this? But again, please go support Mike Lindell at mypillow.com. Promo code Lumberjack. Big savings over there, folks. Free shipping on orders over $75. And also check out my other sponsor, which is Verity Metals. You can call Matt over there at 480-717-9081. Yes, a lot of no's, though. Okay, so here's the scoop. Taylor Lorenz was a writer for the Washington Post. She's so bad that she even got canned from the Washington Post. That's how bad she is. Well, she's not on X anymore because she can't handle a free speech platform. So there's some goofy new platform that all the libs are flocking to. I think it's called Blue Sky or something. I'm not going to give it too much because it's just dumb. But I want you to watch this clip. This was on Piers Morgan. And this is after the healthcare CEO was executed in the streets, okay, which they just tried to compare Daniel Penny to, that guy. And watch what she has to say. You're literally watching somebody get gunned down in the street, and look at how she is.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Look at her face. She felt joy over seeing a man get gunned down in the streets. This isn't fake. Okay, this isn't like some AI thing. I just want you guys to understand that. Okay, she felt joy. I mean, this is some left heart. She's following the guy who killed him. She follows him and retweets him. Or well, it's not called retweeting. I guess it's on Blue Sky, or did she on Twitter? Did she? I don't know. Anyways, I've seen the screenshots. I guess I don't know if it was on Blue Sky or actually I think it was Instagram.
Joy at a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Thousands of Americans that being murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
So should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
Wow.
No, that would not.
Well, why not?
And,
why are you laughing?
Yeah, she's literally laughing, people. No, that would not. This woman's sick. This is your Democrat Party, man. This is like the people who are most influential in it right now.
I think because it wouldn't fix the
You seem to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question funny.
A bloke's being murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO. Now, I want to fix this system. You're right. We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice. No. I think that it is a good thing that this murder has led to America, or really the media elites and politicians in this country paying attention to this issue for the first time.
Now, look at this, guys. She's apparently on YouTube. Do you see this in the background? I've never watched her on YouTube. But you need to understand, I am currently demonetized by this platform, and they say that I have hateful content. And I'm watching this. Okay, they won't run ads on my channel because my rhetoric is too hateful. Are you guys catching this? So they promote this gal. This is nuts.
You mentioned you couldn't understand why somebody would feel this reaction when they watched a CEO die. It's because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans have.
I've dealt with the healthcare system in various ways in America. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but the idea that I would view it as something...
Have you been denied life-saving treatment?
The idea that I would view it as something joyful, that a man has been, who's just a healthcare executive, has been executed in the street, I find completely bizarre.
It's pretty bizarre. I saw somebody say she's acting. Actually, she's not. I mean, this is the same gal who, called for violence against Chea Raychik, the gal who runs Libs of TikTok, and also tried to out her location where she lived, all of that. Taylor Lorenz she's not acting. She actually thinks she's, righteous, and she can laugh about this stuff. It's pretty wild to actually to watch. It's nuts. So let me just break down again. If you just joined in on the show, we have Liz Cheney calling for sanctions of attorneys who investigate the J6 committee. And again, I mean, she still thinks she's part of the same regime and she can do this stuff, and it's not going to work anymore. Okay, Pete Hegseth, Joni Ernst got behind him now. Again, a little word of caution on that, because I do think that they always have votes in their back pocket that they can trot out. So then we have, addition to that, what were the other stories? So we had the switch, we have the Liz Cheney thing. We had the Daniel Penny verdict, which was a big deal to see that come out right. We exposed some of the lies of the Liz Cheney, and that's it. I think that was what I had for the show tonight. Thanks again, folks, for listening. I do. I love you guys. We're winning on so many fronts out there right now. I just want you to keep that in mind. Again, please go support Mike Lindell at MyPillow. If you're going to get the pillows, they're phenomenal deals right now over there. The standard MyPillows, they've never been priced that low. So it is 800-568-2865. I always encourage people to call if you're ordering pillows. You can go to mypillow.com and use promo code Lumberjack and see those deals as well. And then Matt at Verity Metals. I'm encouraging people, for your kids, grandkids, people like it, give them some silver, give them like some American Eagle silver coins, stuff like that. 480-717-9081. You can also do self-storage IRA options over there. He can work with you on that. So Christmas is coming, folks. It's coming. Get your Christmas shopping done. What's my take on the pardons? They keep talking about this. And, people say that Joe Biden's going to pardon Liz Cheney. A pardon at this point is an admission of guilt for these people. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, he's already pardoned Hunter. And that just made us all understand just how bad, Hunter really was and what was really going on there. So, and it gave a terrible news cycle for Joe and his team, and Karine Jean-Pierre walking out of pressers. So whatever they're doing right now, what's really wild, and I think, I want you guys to keep this in mind as you look at the news. Just understand that whatever they've been doing has been working against them. Okay, so just think about the Trump impeachments, then the Trump prosecutions, and it just raised Trump in the public eye every time. Okay. Fani Willis is going down in flames in Georgia. So not only did she come at President Trump, and now it's been outed with I told you guys I was going to share one more video. I am so sorry. Guys, watch this, because I was just going to talk about Merrick Garland. Check this out. You'll love it.
Attorney General Garland, you said in our last exchange that it's your practice to defer to FBI agents in the field. I was interested, given your answer, to read in this morning's Washington Post that the FBI is saying that you overruled them when it came to raiding ex-President Trump's personal residence. Washington Post reports this morning, showdown before the raid, that senior FBI officials who would be in charge of leading the search resisted doing so as too combative. These field agents wanted to shutter the criminal investigation altogether, but they were overruled by Maine DOJ.
I've skimmed that article. That's not an accurate reflection of what the article says, and I'm not able to comment on the investigation. My comment earlier was about tactics on the ground in particular cases.
Wait. You said it's not I'm reading to you from the article. Quote, senior FBI officials who would be in charge of leading the search resisted the plan as too combative and proposed instead to seek Trump's permission to seek his property, according to 4 people, end quote.
There is often a robust discussion, and in the end, and it's encouraged among investigators and prosecutors.
Yes, and you made the decision.
I did. That's
right. You said you did.
No, I'm sorry. What I said was I approve the decision.
So you didn't make the decision to raid?
I approve the decision to seek a search warrant after probable cause was
overruling the FBI agents who did not want to do so. Did you talk about this with the White House?
The memorandum does not. That Washington Post article does not say what you're saying.
That is solid gold, folks. That's solid gold, man. I tell you what, I mean, Merrick Garland, him leaving, and then Kash Patel becoming the FBI director is going to be one of the greatest things. Let me see if I can find. I had a Kash Patel. Oh no, that's Timmy. Oh, come on. Where did that go? People ask me too if I was on other social media. Yes, all my links are in the description down below. So yeah, I don't have it up anymore, but Kash, they're not gonna like this. Oh yeah, here, I got it. Hold on. It's got to be right down here. No, it's not there. But Kash Patel is this is going to be the most glorious thing, folks. I'm loving the picks that Trump has. You know, again, I think one of the greatest things is that Trump has been responsive. When we didn't like that sheriff out of Florida as a pick, Trump got rid of him. And we wanted to stand by Pete Hegseth, and Trump was standing by him too. And now look, the senators are beginning to fold. They should be approving every single one of Trump's picks, because that's what we voted for. Okay. We voted for Trump to be president. This whole advise and consent process, I understand, but the Democrats there was no pushback on any, and these same people who are giving Trump, who are supposedly Republicans, who are giving Trump grief about his picks, approved the likes of Lloyd Austin, Merrick Garland, etc. Was my dog knocking something over out there? I just heard something. Anyways, but it's just crazy to think how badly these rhino Republicans work against us. It's sick. So, anyways, I think we're going to see them getting confirmed. I mean, it was interesting to see how the whole Matt Gaetz thing went down, and but it sounds like Matt Gaetz might be a special prosecutor. I mean, see, there's like all these shifting plates out there, and right now it appears Trump is doing a good job with that. I did watch him on some clips of Welker's interview with him, and he just manhandled her. She asked the stupidest things. It was like him shaking hands with the guy over in France, whatever his name is. I can't even remember now. Who's the leader of France? Macron. That's right. It's like Justin Trudeau. Did you see Justin Trudeau after his beatdown at Mar-a-Lago? No, we're finally back, people. America's so back. Oh, praise God. Anyways, again, please go support the sponsors. They support the show. All the links are below. You can also go Black Ovis or My Patriot Supply. Thank you for doing that. Since we are demonetized and Taylor Lorenz is monetized, it's wild stuff. Anyways, I love you all. Keep fighting the good fight. All right. See you in the next episode. Peace out, and Merry Christmas, and God bless you with this holiday season.